and welcome to our live stream at this hour. I'm Youyang in Beijing. Today we are paying visit to the 2023 World Radar Expo here in Beijing's Shougang Park. As you can see just now, I'm showing you a link sense hands, which is controlled by remote control, and some say it can be controlled by mind. So how does it work? Today we're going to talk with the scientists on the source and the application areas of this kind of link sense hands. 所以大家好，那么今天呢，在我们这场展览中，我们非常有幸啊，像我刚才跟大家展示的，我们来设这样一个灵犀手。那你们可以看到啊，在我们说它是可以随着意念来控制的，就是我没有接触它，但它会随着我的手势摆出不同的手势。我们再试一下。好的，好的。所以其实这样的一个灵犀手呢，它其实就应用了我们的雷达技术。那今天我们也非常有幸请到我们中国这个灵犀手的首席科学家。那么尹老师呢，就是这样一只灵犀手的主要设计团队的领导。
Who is the leader of the designing team of LinkSense Hand? Could you please brief us about your inspiration of this hand? I was struck by my mentor Wang Dechun, who had a cancer. His bones were eroded by the cancer, so he had suffered a lot in his late years, and he was in pain. I thought, if one person can still think, can he use his brain to control his moves? That is the common problem for many elderly people. So we hope that we could pivot more towards those disabled people, so that this group of people could live according to their wishes. As you mentioned, you were inspired by the nerve signals, and then the signals were received by the LinkSense hand. So what difficulties have you bumped into? I thought about this technology in 2007, and we studied the algorithms. My mentor died later on, and I started this job officially since 2016. So it took me about 2 years, from 2016 to 2018. So 3 years of tough job. Though it's just 3 years, as you can see, the LinkSense technology is a very cutting-edge technology product in the world. We are now trying to bring this technology to the global stage, and China has become a standard compiler right now. In 2019, IEC convened an international standardization convention, and we took this hand to that convention. We showed it to the experts, explaining that this hand would be very important for the disabled. All the participants believed so. So we joined the ISO, and then last year, through the voting process, we were certified by IEC, and in the future there will be more detailed standardization. So, in China, we have the first wearables to be listed into the international standards, and China is the leader of that standard. So, in terms of international wearables, China could be the leader of making standards for the wearables. That's quite an achievement. As you mentioned right now, you were inspired by your mentor suffering from lung cancer, and now this hand could be applied to more disabled. It would be supplementary to their moves. So, will it be applied on more virtual or remote scenarios? Yes, indeed, especially in the dangerous areas like inspecting the bombs and explosives. We don't hope that the danger is threatening the lives of the personnel. So we hope that such danger could be within control, especially in the aging society. The elderly people in our families need a lot of support to do something, and we could remotely control this hand to do that job for the elderly. So this hand will be applied in the dangerous occasions and in homes.
真的是非常期待啊！
I'm
那我
really
相信在
looking
未来我
forward
们灵犀
to
手的应
its
用过程中，
application
一
in
定
the
会让很
future.
多，比如说像您说的排爆，那就可以拯救
For
很多，比如说
example,
消
the
防官兵，或者是我们排爆手的，因为我们之前看很多
scenarios
排爆相关的这个影视
would
剧啊，
apply
看到
this
的会拯救他们
technology.
的生
This
命。
would be
哎，它
the
又动了，
difference
是
of
因为我
life
动
or
了吗？
death. It's moving. Is that because that
因为
I
我刚才
moved
把我
my
的这个肌
fingers?
肉神经元录入进来
My
了，
nerve
所以看它会
cells
随着我
were
的手的移动。
input.
再试一试，哎。
And now this hand could move along with me.
哎呀，虽然我是有手的，但我还是期待未来它能帮助我
I
做
do
更多
hope
的
that
事
it could
情。
be of much help to me in the future.
因为我们有很多工作呢，其实是不太适合。
After all, many jobs are not suitable for us. For example, if we want to pick up something in the high ceiling, we don't necessarily need to climb on. This link sense hand could be of much help. So this technology is a wearable technology based on radar system. Thank you, Madam Yan. And as we have learned this year, there will be more cool technologies to come out. For example, you mentioned about such a wearable on our head to help those paralyzed patients. Is that so? Yes, indeed. We just help such a paralyzed child to wear it. And with these bones, he can control his hands. Then the patients could be independent, basically. This child will go to school in the future. Wow, that's amazing for such a severely paralyzed child to go to school. We're really looking forward to it. And we would love to film more of such stories in the future. Such wearables could be helpful in a good many scenarios. This could help improve the life quality. We do hope that when we are growing old, we could live freely with this link sense hand. Thank you very much. With just a click of thought, in the future, we could have easier lives, and there will be more wearables in the future. But this is just a tip of the iceberg in terms of the radar system. And speaking of the radar application, do you know what is the most closely related with it? That's our weather. So in weather forecast scenario, radar system is also very important. That's true. Radar is a very important tool to forecast and monitor the meteorology. In today's Expo, we will take you to take a closer look at the meteorological radar. We're familiar with meteorological radar technology, but there must be a lot of advancements in those years. Could you brief us about the development history? Based on the inspecting application scenarios, we could apply these radar technologies to forecast and monitor the wind, the rainfall, and so on. And the antenna system is the basis of the radar detection. As to the detection scope and detection time, it's relatively lower. The more finer the forecast is, the more accurate the result will be. So such a short time forecast is not suitable for now. And now we apply to more scenarios with advanced radar system. It can be more capable. You just mentioned about the detection of clouds, wind, and rainfalls, and among the three, which one is the most challenging one for our detection? We are most concerned about the rainfall detection. Before traveling every day, we will scan through the forecast to see if it's raining, especially when we are catching a flight. There may be a delay because of the rainfall, so rainfall detection is the most concerned forecast in terms of the radar application. So between the different detections, what are the differences as to the technologies? The radar technologies differ a lot in different forecasts, and we use Doppler to detect the rainfall. And as to the wind detection, we mainly apply the scattering technology, so that's why the radar systems look differently. In our daily lives, we are paying close attention to climate change. There is a higher number of extreme weather conditions. That's why the entire society is highly concerned about it. Such meteorological detection requires higher capabilities of radar system. It falls short of our demand right now, so we will do more
所以在未来我们就能更
to
精准的
have
知道大家这个
more
天气的
precise
情况
and
了。
accurate
那我也想替大家
meteorological
问一问啊，因为我们
forecast
今天
in
在
terms
首
of
钢
the
园，我们
climate
知道北京
change.
前两天遭遇了沙尘暴。
In these days,
那咱们对于
we
沙尘暴未来会有
are
这个预警雷
troubled
达
by
来
the
探测它
sandstorm.
吗？
Will you have a way to detect a sandstorm? We did, and it's quite similar to the rainfall detection, but because the sand particles are quite small, hanging over in the air, it's very difficult to detect it. But for the sandstorm to take shape, it takes the power of wind and sand as well. So we have to detect the wind first. We must get the wind velocity first, and then with such a strong wind, there may be some sand going up in the air. So we start the radar detection to detect the sand density in the air. That would help us to inform people about the severity of sandstorms. So radar system is applicable in sandstorm detection. That's quite hopeful. After all, in the northern China, we are plagued by sandstorm a lot. Now, this is the medical pavilion, and could you please introduce to us about the main exhibits in number 3 exposition? It's mostly about the equipment of the radar system. In the civil radar field, we present the meteorological maritime detection with the radar support.
明白了，那现在其实我们就到了这个气象
Now
雷达
this
这个
is
区
the
域了哈。
pavilion for
我们可以看到
meteorological
映入
radar
眼帘的就是两个
technology.
非常大的
And
雷
right
达
in
了，
front
能
of
不能给我们
right
讲
in
讲这
front
两
of
个雷达
us,
分
those
别
are
是什么作用
two
呢？
very big radar systems. Could you introduce more? The white radar is called microwave radiation machine. It could detect the air temperature and humidity, and it mainly could monitor vertically. It's used for weather forecasts. And the green radar is about rainfall detection. It's a panel antenna. It could very quickly sense the rainfall content within 1 kilometer difference, and this rain drops in the air may
那我还很想
fall
问问
down
您啊，
to the
这两个雷
ground
达在这
to
儿看已经
become
很大了
rainfall.
那这个是我们实际在城市中会应用到
So
的吗
those two
那它们一般分布在城市的哪
are
些地方呢？
distributed in certain places of the city. Where? For example, the meteorological stations would install those radar technologies. Especially for the right side one, this is quite small. It's not the real one. In the civil meteorological sector, this machine could be as big as 8 to 9 meters in length. So only the professional
明白了，
radio
等于就是为
stations
更
would be
专业的
equipped
像
with
航
such
班提供
radar
更准确的天气预
systems.
报这样子。
I see. So they could guarantee that the forecasts
好
are
的，好的，
more
我们跟着您
accurate.
的脚步来走。
That's true.
我们在后面看到这些大多都是模型了，是吧？因为咱们
Those
的
are
这种
just
气象雷达一般都很
models.
巨大。
As we know, usually the meteorological radars are very big. That's true. We have limited space in the exposition. And for your information, this one is about the sea wave meteorological radar. It's a Doppler weather radar. You could see the diameter is about 8.5 meters. So we cannot place it in our expo. This is the newest meteorological radar in the middle, and this one has been applied to Daxing International Airport. It's a phasal array weather forecast radar, and it's one of the top 10 projects in Daxing International Airport. It helps a lot to ensure the flights. Traditionally, the resolution is around 10 times of the normal ones, and it could shorten the times to about 1/6 of the traditional radars. We could more accurately forecast the weather and then inform the ground
那
to
郑总，我这有
guide
两个
the
问题啊，一
flights.
个是说为什么
and
我们雷
avoid
达
the
会有两
traffic
种
jam.
形状？比如说传统就像您说的这种剖面的，或者我们传统说像锅盖一样的雷达。
Traditionally, the
另外一
radar
种是这
looks
种方
like
形的
a
那这
hot
两个
cap,
形状的
but
差异
this one
是
is
怎么造成
square
的？
shaped. What could explain the reason of the different shapes?
That's
because on the right side, the waves are single beams. It's like using just one eye to look. But for this square-shaped panel,
它是一个
The waves
整个阵
are
列式的排
distributed
布，
in
你可以认为
arrays.
像传统我们原来讲生物学的叫复眼的一个概念，所以它有很多
Biologically
个发射
speaking,
单元，这样的话它同时可以发射多组波束
It's
来
just
进行
like
我们
using
大气的一个立
compound
体扫
eyes,
描，
so it
这也是
could
为什么
send
它
out
扫得又快又
multiple
精准的一
waves.
个原
That's
因。
why it
哦，
could
明白了，
scan
就等
more
于说一个是单
quickly
只眼来
and
看，一个像
precisely.
复眼一样，
So
像
that's
生物
about
这
the
个蜻
difference
蜓
of
啊、
one
苍蝇的
eye
复
and
眼一样。
compound
那这个
eyes.
确实是厉害，就能做到您说的又
That's
快
why
又
it
精
can
准。
accomplish
是的，是的。
faster
另外，
and
像
more
我们原来
precise
从 C 波段，现在也开始向
forecast.
S 波段
And
升
we're
级。
now
像
upgrading
S 波
to
段是
S
我们
wave
中国气
band.
象局用于给我们
China
防灾减
Meteorological
灾的主要监测
Administration
的波段。那么这个波段
offers
呢，
us
目
the
前在
S
中
band
国
as
体
the
系之
main
下的雷达
band
还是以传统
to
体制为主。
monitor the
那么
weather
现在呢，我们也
conditions.
是联合国家气
We're
象局以及
working
福建
together
省
with
气象局在
Fujian
探索
Meteorological
下一代的
Bureau
这
to
种新
explore
型
the
的
new
测雨雷
generation
达
of
应该怎么做。
rainfall
那么这个雷达也
forecast
是我们
radar
2022
system.
年第一部
And
全
this
国第一部
is
在福
the
建架设的
first
这个新
new
型的这
type
种相公灯
of
体雷达。未来呢，也
phasal
是有
array
望
radar
全面
system
升
in
级我们的这
Fujian
个相灯
province.
体雷达。那么多讲一
In
句，这个目前这种
2022.
体制在全世界
Even
也是第一
worldwide,
步，
this is
所以我们
one
在
of
气
its
象雷达领
kind.
域，可以说走在了世界的
So
这个
I
前
could
列。
fairly say
哇，
China is
那我
leading the
同样有两
way
个问
in
题想
terms
请
of
教您哈，一
meteorological
个是这
radar
个相公阵雷
technology.
达，您说咱们
You
在福
just
建是
mentioned
做全世界
that
的
as
第一
to
步，
the
那它的大小
phasal
真正实物大小到底有多大？
这
radar
部雷
is
达
the
也是
first
差
one
不多到
in
8到9米
Fujian.
的
What
这个
about
边
the
长，
size
所以
of
它
it?
看起来
8
像一
to
个
9
2
meters
层
in
楼的这样
length.
的大房子一样的大小，
So it
这是非
looks
常大
like
的一
two
个这个雷达。
buildings.
那为什么你们会把它这个第一步架设
Why
在
do
福
you
建呢？
place
是因
it
为
in
天气比较
Fujian?
多
Is it
变吗？
because
因
of
为我们知道这个
the
福建的这个本身是一个这个
climate
山地的一个东
conditions?
南沿海的一个地
Fujian
形，
locates
所以
in
它的强对流、
southeastern China.
台
It's
风、
coastal
强降水
place.
都是非常
It
多的。那么这种非常
usually
复杂的天
welcomes
气就
strong
需要非常
rainfalls and
好的雷达来
typhoons.
去做
That's
监测
why
预
it
警，所以这也
requires
是为什么我们
higher
选择在
quality
这个地
radar
方
for
做我们的
monitoring.
新雷达的一个验证。
哦，那什么时候可以普及
When
到
could
北
it
京
be
来呢？
applied in
我相信
Beijing?
很快就会
Very
有机
soon.
会普及到咱们的北京。
好的，好的。哎，那这儿我们又看到另外一种雷达了，它的形状跟前两种又不一样了。
This
对，这
radar
个就是我们的测
has
云
different
体系的
shape.
雷达。我们今天展出的这一款测云
That's
体系的雷
used
达
to
是毫米
detect
波
the
波段的
clouds.
调频连
It's
续
the
波的雷达。你
millimeter
看到它有2个波组
based
成，这2个
radar.
波呢就是做双极化的这个
It
探
has
测。
two
它的双
polars.
极化探测意思就是说我可以把
By that, it
云的
means
强
the
度
cloud's
以及云当中粒子的
and
相
the
态探测出来。
particles'
它不仅可以
phases
知道
could be
是什么样的云，
detected.
还可以知道云里
It
面
could
是
learn
雨还
not
是
just
雪还
whether
是冰
it's a。
这样的
cloud,
话
it
有
could
效的
also
把我们云里
detect
面的一个细分
whether
的结
it's
构
the
给它看出来。
snow or ice wrapped up in the
同样
clouds.
这一款又是不一样了。我觉得这
This
个雷
one
达
looks
为
different
什么
as
咱们的
well.
记住基础原理是
They
类
share
似的，但是这
similar
个形状会
theories,
有这么
but
多差
they
异呢？
这
take
个就是我
different
们前面刚
shapes.
刚记者也问到了，就是我们的测风跟测雨雷达的体制不
We
一样
have。different
这个就是我
systems
们用
of
布拉格散
detecting
射做的测
wind
风雷
and
达。它你看
rain.
它的整个正面是对着
This
天
one
上
is
的，
to
所以它
detect
测
the
的是往
wind,
上
so
的
it
上
has to
空
look
一个
up
垂直高
at
度
the
上的某
sky.
个高度层上的
It
风。
detects
那
the
么它的主要
vertical
用途就
wind
是在
at
机
different
场以及一些
layers.
其他相关的领域里面去测上空，比如
For
说3公里
example,
或者
3
说是
kilometers
8公里以
difference
下的这个风的这个
and
风速、
8
风向。
kilometers
然后它的
distance.
主要应用呢，就是
It
当
could
我发
detect
现
the
这一
wind
整条风当
direction
中
and
有
wind
某一层的
velocity.
风速、风向有巨
If
大的
there
转
is a
变，那
huge
么我就可以提
change
醒
in
飞
terms
机
of
在飞到
those
这个高度的
parameters,
时候，
then
要特别小
the
心风切变的
aircrafts
存在。
flying
那
at
么
that
机长
height
在飞
must
到
be
这个风的这
mindful
个异变层
of
的
the
时候，
strong
要注意
wind.
控制好飞
So
机
we
的姿态，
must well
否则就容
control
易发生这个
the
飞机摔
position
毁
of
的这个
the
事故了。
aircrafts,
这也是用
otherwise
于
the
机场的安全
aircrafts
的
may
保障。
crash.
明白，
It
所以
could
其实我
also
们的飞
serve
行安
the
全在背
airport
后是有非常非常多的
safety.
技术保障的。
So
有了这种
safe
技术保障，才
flights
能给机
are
长提供更
secured
详细的资料，才
by
能让他
many
了解用什么样的
technologies.
姿态
With
来
those
起飞或者着陆是
information,
更
they
准确的。
could learn
又
how
看到一种
to
新的了。
pilot the
对，这个是我
aircrafts.
们这个
This
其
is a
他
new
体制
one.
的这种测风的这种
This is
雷达
also
跟
a
我们
wind
原来传统体制都
detection
不太一样。
radar.
你看这个是用这个声呐的方式去用声的方式
It
去测风。
uses
那么我
the
们现在就
theory
这
of
种多
sound
体
to
制的
detect
测
the
的测
wind.
风、测雨、测云雷达，将来能够形成一个完整
In
的
the
体系，
future, they will
把
be
我们
integrated
机场或者
systems
重点保障的区
to
域
especially
全方位的、
protect the
全要素的这
airports
种探测，构建一
with
种
all
这种
elements
协同的综合
detection
探测
and
系统，这是
monitoring.
目前气象探测预警的一个新的这
So
个发展
that's
的
going
趋
to
势。
be the mainstream
我看
trend.
到一个点啊，咱们这个是便携式声测风衣，那是
It
不是说明这个
says
大小
it's
就跟一
portable.
般
Does
大小
it
差
mean
不多
that
了？
this
真
is
的是研
almost
究
the
人
same
员带着
size
它
as
走
the
了
real
吗？
one?
是的，是的，因为
Yes,
我们前面
indeed.
讲了气象雷达最
The
大的问题
biggest
是它的
problem
个
for
头
the
太大了，
meteorological
所以我们
radar
现
is
在
that
在
they are
很多
very
的应用场
big.
景下需要
So
单兵作战或者
sometimes
是
we
便携
need
式的方式，
portable
我们未
radar.
来把气象雷
We
达
have
做
to
小，
make it
同时还要
smaller
保证
and
它
at
的
the
精度，
same
那么
time
是气象雷达要面临
ensuring
的一个新的机遇。
its
明白了，那如果未来有我
accuracy.
们更小的气象雷达，我们就真正可以在咱们的展厅
So in
看
the
到了。
future, we
那这
may
样
be
除了
able
您
to
介
see
绍给我
those
的
real
测
radars
风、
in
测雨、测云
Expo.
这三种
In
雷达，
addition to
我
the
知道
three
您们还
types
有
of
更多的
radar,
应用于，比如说
radar
航
might
空
be
领域
used
啊
to
和庙空领域的雷
aviation
达，
and
能不能再给我们讲一
aerospace.
讲有
Could you
哪些我
tell
们日
us
常
more
见不到
about
的呢？
those
好的，好的。
not
其实我们大
frequently
家日
met
常生活
by
当中有
us
很
in
多
daily
的坐飞
lives?
机，
We check the flights often. If you go to the airports, you may have noticed those radar systems in airports. We have exhibited many of them. Take a look at this one. It's about the runway detection system. It's very small. It's usually applied on the two sides of the runways. It's to detect the foreign objects on the runway. For example, during the flight, if there is any screws or foreign objects on the runways, the tires of the aircraft might be broken. So this radar would be used to detect the foreign matters on the runways. So the foreign matters could also be detected by radar. I previously thought that it's mainly done by the manpower. Of course, we need artificial work to do the first round of screening, but in some weather conditions, we cannot resort to the manpower to do the detection. That's why we need to resort to the radar system to ensure the flight safety. I see, those radars are in different shapes. Could you inform us about their functions? This one is a flagship. It's called the spider web low-altitude surveillance radar. Drones are applied frequently now. Those drones may be a threat to the aircraft. So this spider web radar is to detect those drones and then inform the aircraft about those non-identified objects. So this spider web radar is especially designed to detect the drones. Yes, in the air defense sector, those state visits need such security insurance. It's the backstage hero. This one is applied mostly in the civil aviation sector. It's for surface surveillance. When the aircraft are landing and gliding in the airport, there might be some clash with the other vehicles on the airport. So we need surveillance on the airport to inform the aircraft about those objects on the runways. Speaking of that, I have to ask again about the size of the real radars. We haven't seen those radars before in the airports. Why? Not many airports are applying those radars. The antenna is as long as 5 meters, so it's a pretty large radar. So such radar is visible in the large complex airports. Yes. The surface surveillance radar used to be monopolized by the foreign countries, but recently CGTN is stepping in this field. So surface surveillance radar is being more localized. In the future, we will more apply those made in China radars. That's the proof of technological advancement. This one is the S-band PSR. The antennas were put together because this radar has been used for the localization of aircrafts in the air. The first time radar is sent to detect the location of aircraft, and the second radar signal was sent to have an interaction with the aircraft. With the information flow, we could better precisely locate the aircraft. If one aircraft is not cooperating with us, this aircraft will not respond. So the second time radar cannot detect it. We can only use the first radar to detect its location. But most of the aircrafts would inform us their location actively. They would resort to the second radar signal. Some aircrafts may not respond. Some others are controlled by the aviation sector, so they would be more cooperative. Those radars mostly applied in military airports? Of course, but the civil aviation is also using the radar system as well, even not that commonplace. In the future, there will be multiple applications. Several radars may be used together to supplement each other, and the density of radar distribution would be higher. We would not be worried about the accidents anymore.
哎，那在这个点我还想再请教您一
I
个点，就是
have
说
a
您讲到，我
follow-up
想问您它这
question
个
about
密度覆盖
the
是个什么样的？
density
就等于说
distribution.
我们一台
For
这样
such
的
a
1次雷达或者
one
2次雷达也好，
radar,
它能够同时接收
how
多少架
many
飞行器的
craft
这种雷达
signal
信
can
息
it
呢？
receive
目
for
前来看，我
once?
们现在一般它的这个接受的这个飞行器的数量是没
There
有明
is
显的这个上
no
限的。我们主要
definite
讲的是它的这个探
up
测的距离。
limit
那么一般
as
一
to
台
the
雷
number
达
of
可以探测到
aircrafts.
数百公里的这种
One
探
radar
测
can
距离。
detect
那么也就是
several
说，数百公
hundred
里以内的这种飞机
kilometers
目标
distance.
只要它愿意
As
把
long
信
as
号
the
发给
aircrafts
我，
are
我都能
willing
够
to
有效
send
的
their
去定位它的
signals
存在。
within that
那么现
distance,
在是这么一
this
个
radar
监
is
测轨道。
able
那
to
这个很
receive the
管用啊，相
signal.
当于一个机场，
It's
我
very
架设这
helpful.
样一台雷达，
Basically,
我就可以
one
保证在我100公里
airport
内所
can
有
be
飞行器我
equipped
都能
with
接
this
收到。
one radar
是的，是的。
and
所以我们
aim
现
to
在
receive
一般一
all
个
the
中端区的
signals
范围
from
大
the
概100公里以
aircrafts
上嘛，所
within
以
the
我们一个
distance.
中端区范围
Yes,
内有1-2
indeed,
波这
with
样的雷
just
达
a
就
1
能
to
够满
2
足我们
radar
飞机的监测的这样的需求。
systems are
那
sufficient
这
to
里是一个移
detect
动2 次
the
雷达，就刚刚您
surroundings.
讲到的更便
This
携一些
one
的，
is
可以探测
portable
这个可
radar.
应达
It
的
can
飞行器
also
的这个雷达
respond.
信息。
That's
这一
true.
架
What
呢，
about
这
this
个
one?
这个是前面讲的场
This
面
is
监
the
测雷达，它可以实
surface
时架高离
surveillance
线。像这样
system.
的场
It's
面监测雷达
just
配合我们的一些1、2次雷
tilted
达，
up
未来也是
and
构建一个从我们前面讲的
it
跑
could
道监
monitor
测
the
到场
runway,
面
the
监测到空中
surface,
监
and
测，
the
一个
air.
全方位的
It's
立
all
体化的一个监
directional
测。
vertical
这样所有
monitoring
的民
radar.
航的这个监测范围内的移动的目标
All the
都可以纳入
movable
到我们的监测
objects
体
in
系
the
里面，来实
airports
现一个
could
安
be
全监测、安全
detected.
运行。
明白
to
明白，
ensure
所以在这儿我
safety.
们也可以看到，它这个比例是1比
The
2。
ratio is 1 to 20, so you could
一个
imagine
大
the
概的
real
一个概
size of
念。
this
我们也
radar.
希望，比如说未来在首都
We
机
hope
场和
that
大
in
机
the
场能够，
future, in the
如果有感
Beijing
兴趣的观众
International
朋友们可以
Airport
去主
and
动
Daxing
看一看，能不
International
能找到这样
Airport,
的
we
雷
could
达。
find
这有一个小技巧，大家看到就是
those
在民航里面啊，
radars.
我们一般雷达的这个颜色都是红
Usually,
白
the
条相
civil
间。
radars
如果
are
大家
in
看到这样的颜
colors
色，可
of
能你可
red
以
and
注意去看
white.
是不是我们的雷
If
达。
you spot
那
the
为什
two
么是红白
colors,
条
try
相
to
间
pay
呢？
closer
这个可能是
attention.
有
So
一些
why
这
the two
个行业规
colors?
范所规
It's
定的，
just the
所以大家很
industry
醒目可以看
standards.
得到。
They are more
好的好
conspicuous.
的，大家如果感兴趣
Okay,
的话，
if
未来
you're
可以在机
interested,
场关注这样
please
红白条相
pay
间的设备。
attention
大多就是我们的雷达
to
设备
the
呢，
two
它主要是
colors
为
in
我们第一是
airports.
探测
Those
气
radars
象
are
的情
used
况，能
for
保障航班的安
meteorological
全；第二也是
surveillance
探
and
测，比如
the
说在地面的
aircraft
飞行器以
safety
及在空中的飞
insurance
行器，
and
它
the
的位置也好，它
localization
的
of
情况也
aircrafts
好，
in the
真的是
air.
其实我觉得任何一个安全都
Those
少不了
safety
背后
issues
非常非常高精尖端的
are
各类技术的
ensured
保障。
thanks
是
to
的，是
the
的，我们也
cutting
是
edge
希望
technologies
在
in
我
the
们的努力之
backstage.
下，我们的国产
We
化的
hope
雷达
that
能够越
with
做越
our
好，将来
efforts,
能够
our
使得我们国产化的雷达能够
made in
服务于
China
我们的
radar
更好的用户。
systems could
一定
be
一定，就
higher
像您
quality
说的，
and
刚刚在
serve
大兴
more
机场区，我们已
industries.
经看到咱们的
Of
雷达在
course,
实
as
现了，
you
包括在福
said,
建，我们也架设了
you
全世界第
have
一台
the
雷达。那
first
所以我们也希望
one
在
of
未来
its
肯定会有
kind
各种
radar
各样多的
system
领域
in
能够应用
Fujian,
到我们的
and
国产雷
Daxing
达的。
International
非常感谢
Airport
您介
is
绍，张总。
applying the radar as well. Thank you
所
for
以
your
刚才呢，我
time.
们在这里啊看到了不仅有气
Just
象
now, we
雷达，
have
还有这个应
witnessed
用于航
the
空领域的
products
这种
of
安全的
meteorological
监测雷
radars
达，可以
and
看到雷达的应
aviation
用场
radar
景其实
systems.
非
So
常非
radar
常
is
多。
used
那接下
in
来在
so
我们这
many
压轴的
scenarios.
就是
And
我们要
last
讲的
but
军
not
用雷
least,
达了。那郑
military
总欢迎您
radar.
啊！您今天来给我们压轴，要给我们好好
You're
讲
the
讲
last
军用设
guest.
备啊，这是肯定
Please
大家
give
非常
us
感兴趣的。
enough information about the military radar. So allow me to take you
跟着我们
there.
的镜头一
Now
起
let's
去军用
move
雷达
on
的展览
to
馆吧。
another pavilion.
那郑总，您知道啊，这很多人都是军迷，大家对军用雷达都是非常
We're
非常
very
感兴趣的。
interested in
所以呢，今天能
military
先给我们讲一讲，哎，在您们的展览馆有什么值得我们期待的军用雷达可以看到
What
吗？
radar products
因
can
为
we
军用雷
see?
达呢，它也是一个比较宽泛的一个范围，因为对于军用的来讲，它有地面的雷
There are
达，
some
也有
surface
装在机
radar
载平台上的
and
雷达。
the
它海陆空间，因为
aircraft's
雷达呢，
mounted
它是作为
radar.
三军之眼，我们的话讲。
Radar is like the
三军的
eye
眼睛
of the
它是要提
army.
供态势感知的。
So
其实雷达在
the radar
军事用
system's
途中
sensing
是作
ability
为
is
信息
very
设备中
important,
非常重要
especially
的
among all
一
the
个设备，广
information
泛的应用在
technologies.
各种各
And
样的
that's why this
平
radar
台设备以及
system
独立
could
的
be
雷达装备
applied
上。
to many
那我能问问您
terminals.
就刚才我们看到 到的大多数民用雷达啊，可能在航空
The
领域
civil
用比较
radars
广
may be
泛。
more
那我能
widely
不能问您，比如
applied.
说在咱们
So
三
for
军
the
领域，那
military
是不是
purpose,
空军应用雷达的这个更广泛一些呢？
what
相
do
对
you
来
think
说，空军的
about
型号会
the
比较多一
application
些，
of
因
the
为
radar?
空军呢，它承担了防空
We
的
have to
任务。
ensure air
所以尤
defense.
其是这次展览中，我们展示了很多
So in
地
this
面雷达，
expo,
那么
we
主要是用于
showed
在
a
空军的
lot
防
of
空领域
air
其
defense.
实地面雷达是给空军作为防
Radar
空领域来
system
保障的。
对的，是这样子的，可以这么理解。
那比如说在咱们今年，我想问问您，您带来了什么
So
新的
what
设备能让我们
cutting
看
edge
到吗？
equipment
我们这次
have
带
you
来了
brought
比较
to this
全的
expo?
覆盖到各个频段
We
的
have
防空
a
雷达。然后呢，这次
versatile
有一个
radar
YLC
with
2E 的雷达呢，
multiple
是首次对
bands.
外展示的。一会儿我
You
们
will
到展
see
区可以
later
进行
on.
一个详细的讲解。
好的，好的，太期待了。那现在呢，我们就已经进入到了军品的这个展区了。
Now we
那
are
郑总，是不是这个
entering
整个
this
这个展区，
expo.
我们看到大多都是我们军品
Are
雷达
all
的
of
应
those
用呢？
我
products
刚才在展区
for
也
military
参观了一下，
purpose?
基本上这个展区都是一些
That's
军品
true.
然后呢，也有少量
Very
的是
few
居民两用的
are
一
the
些
CMI
像一些
products.
安防用的居民两用雷达。
大家 所以我们镜头可以看到啊，已经在现场有很多雷达在展示了。
Many radar products can be found on
那
the
郑总，您刚才
site.
在这转了一圈，给您留下印象比较深刻的
What's
用
the
品有
most
哪些
impressive
呢？
我
products?
觉得这次中国电科作为我们
CETC
国家军工电
as
子的
the
国家
national
队，
team
这次带来的
of
展品还
military
是最全、技术
technologies,
水平最高的。
it
哦，
represents the
好的好
highest
的，
level.
这个我们一定很期待，因为我们知道中国电科其实参与了非常
We're
多
looking
国防事业的
forward
贡
to
献，
CETC's
包括我看到在
products.
咱们多次阅兵
It
式上都有
contributes
中国电科的
greatly
这
to
个
our
设备出
national
现。
是的，
technologies.
我们中国电科承担了
CETC
非常多的
undertakes a lot
战
of
略战略方面
strategic
的任务。
equipment research and development.
好，这里我们可以看到一些船舶相关的雷达设备啊。其实，在船舶领域，其实雷达应用也是非常
Those products
广
are
泛的。哎，
in
在
the
我们的
field
右
of
手边就可以看到了，已经有一些映入
telecommunication.
眼帘的，就是我们的这个空军的飞
This
机
is
了
the。military
我
aircraft.
们中国电科也研制了
CETC did the
哦
research
在
job
下
of
面那
those
些绿色的
aircraft.
车
What
辆，其实
about
都
the
是我们的雷
green
达保障，对不
vehicles?
对？
Are they radar systems? Yes, some of them are radar
中国电科的一系列的电子
modules and equipment.
这个就是空警2000，
啊，空军2000这个很有名啊。
然后空警200那个一根平衡木是空警200，这个是空警
This
500，
is
这个都是
500 and 200
在阅兵式上
series. They have been
列
exhibited
装的
before
一
in
些
the
设备
parade.
了。那我们关注的是地面的这些啊，这咱们在地面这些有什么区别？
What's the difference between those vehicles?
会有这样的颜色涂装的，它只是一个颜色。
They are in different colors.
这个颜色的不同
The
它是
different
这个
colors
产品在
represent different application scenarios. The yellow ones are used in the sands. The green ones are usually used in the forests.
明白了，明白了。
I see.
那我们第一个就想看看您说这个2E了，是咱们首次来展出的。虽然
What's
很
the
遗憾，这次我们不能看到它的
Product
实物，因为
for
也
the
是非常巨
first
大，对不对？
premiere.
是的，这次我们带来了一个模型
We
来
have brought with us a module.
就是这个，
That's it.
这就是我们这次首次对外展示
This
的
is its first premiere, YLC2E
它是我们
S-band multifunctional
反隐
radar.
身雷达家族
It's
系列中
also
最
the
新的一款
most
技术。
cutting-edge
大家
product
知道
of
隐身飞机
the
出现了
family
以
of
后呢，为
anti-stealth
雷达
radar.
的研制者
As you know, the stealthy aircrafts are challenging for radar
空军的
system.
防空带来了
Especially that's a huge
它的
burden for
涂
the
装
Air
是主要就
Force.
是应对来屏蔽雷达
So the
信号的。
coating is
对于
mainly
隐身飞机设计
applied
它是通过形
to
状以
make
及
the
隐身
signals
隐身涂料的
more
采用来降低
hard
被雷
to
达
be
探测的概
detected.
率。它并不是真的看不见，实际上雷达
Radar
探测到的。
find it very
那么对于雷
difficult
达
to
设计
detect
者来讲呢，
those stealthy
要去
aircrafts.
探测它们
They are not
主要是要
invisible, of
可以走
course,
两
but
方
the
面的道路。
coating
一方面是
would
利用
try
频段的优势
to block
我们
some
都知道
signals or
在
shorten the
同样的一个
distance
隐身
of
飞机用不
the
同频段
detection
的
of radar.
微波
With
对
different
对
bands
家
of
进行探测，
microwaves,
它的
this
雷达
radar
检面积不一样。
could detect even the anti-stealth,
那么
even the
同
stealthy
样的
aircrafts.
雷达截面积就会更大。所以呢，我们
Especially at
早期
low
呢，像
altitude,
我们的
the
YLC 8E
radar
啊 YLC 8E
size
它
must
是
be
利用了频
bigger.
段的优势，
So
用
with the band's
VHF 啊
advantages,
这样的米波波段来设计
the
雷达
radar
来进
system
行
is
探测。
specially
这个已
designed
经是一
to
个非常可靠
detect
的一
the
个手段。
stealthy
那么
aircrafts.
其实还
That's
有
a
另外
very
一个道
reliable
路来解
technology.
决隐身飞机
Another
的
way
探测
to
问题，
solve the
那就
problem
是
of
利用
stealthy
能量的优
aircraft
势来
is
进行探
about
测。
the
就是隐
application of
身然
energy.
隐身飞
For the
机让我
stealthy
探测起
aircrafts,
来
they
比较
are
困难，
difficult to
但是
be
呢，我要想办法
detected.
让我
But
照射到你这个飞机上的反
if
射回来
there
的
are
能
some
量
energy
只要足够大，
reflected from
我
the
依然能够
aircrafts
把
and
你
that
探测
energy
出
is
来。
big
所
enough,
以
I
这
can
个
still detect you.
对，就是用这种方式的。
That's
并
the
没有
way
采用
of
频段
this
的
radar.
这种设计，它是
It
采用
doesn't apply
能
the
量优势来
technology
进
of
行探测。那么这
low
个
band,
雷达呢，
low
它的
altitude.
设计呢，采用了单元级自适应的
It's
有源
self-adaptive
阵列，
active
加上
array
低
technology
效
on the
效结合
basis.
的一种技术体制。同时呢，它也采用了最新的3代半导体
It
的技
also
术，
applies
才
the
还有
Generation
最
3
先进的算
semiconductor
法的加持，
technology and certain
能够
algorithms.
使我们雷达发
So
射出去
the
的能量
energy
的应用
sent
效率
out by
达
the
到最
radar
大化。
could be more
通过
efficiently
能
used
量的有
with
效
the
利用
efficient application of the
把
energy.
隐身飞机缩短的
The
那段
shortened detection
距离把它
distance
补
by
回
the
来。
stealthy aircrafts could
那么
be
那么同时呢
resumed.
它也采用了
And
很
of
多
course,
智能化的
this
设计，利用
technology
AI 的
has
技术，
applied
可以
AI
在探测
technologies.
过程中，
In the
智能
detection
化的
process,
自
it
动
could
的去调度
automatically
整个这个
commission all the radar resources and technologies, so detection is more reliable and automatic. Thank you for the introduction. Just looking at the module is not enough. I learned that you almost brought the prototype. We have VRC16 multifunctional
这个庞然大物啊，它的这个昵称是16，所以我们来请郑总介绍一下，它到底是一个什么样的雷达，到底有什么样的用途呢？
Its functionalities. It's also a multifunctional radar. From the look of it, on the front side of the antenna, you could see those small rectangular shapes, so just like blocks. With those rectangular blocks, they make it very easy for detection and extension. And it's also friendly for maintenance and repair. If there is any problem, we only need to replace one block with a new one. That's one big advantage. Meanwhile, this product is based on chip technology. That's why this panel is very thin. Especially compared to the previous generations. When mounted on the vehicles, it's lighter. So that makes this product more flexible. It is not that demanding in terms of the road traffic conditions. That's why this product is more widely used. Meanwhile, it has higher reliability. For military purpose, many places are requiring defense. Those places are usually in the islands or other remote areas. That's not friendly to human beings. So with this technology, there could be unmanned monitoring. This radar could be stationed in those dangerous places without any manpower required. For this 16 series, what's the scenario of application? It's mainly covering the medium and high altitudes with higher reliability. In addition to be applied for military purpose, it could also be used in civil defense. For example, the transportation management. With such high precision, to be used in civil area, is that too much? We have to understand that even for the civil purpose, they also have high requirements. I see, for example, the aircraft safety. And we would love to go outdoors. And I have a question while we are moving there. There are so many numbers and letters, English letters, in the names of the radar. Why? That's just the standardization in our specifications. For example, Y represents on the move, L represents radar, and C represents vehicle mount. So those three letters have special meanings. Yes, that's because of standardization. Okay, what about the numbers like 12 and 16? It's based on the serial products. For example, the previous generations. Do you call those products like YCL12 to the public? For some very famous products, we will label them with the acronyms, even in the market, to make it like a brand. An example? For example, Spiderweb. It's very famous for the public. Those names are easier for the public to memorize them. Let's look at this 12. It's very high. Mr. Zheng, could you introduce more details? We just watched the YLC16. It's very thin. But as to this one, the antenna is placed very high above. For air defense system, One big difficulty is to solve the problem of the enemy aircrafts attacking us from the low altitude. For those objects flying at low altitudes, our radar waves may be blocked. To solve that problem, we have to raise up the antenna. And that's the product coming to the rescue. The antenna could be as high as 18 meters. It solves the problem of low altitude attack and slow attack. So 18 meters are equivalent to a building of 6 floors. That's about right. And as you can see, there are different layers. So the antenna could be placed at any section. It's more adaptable in the battlefield. If there are some trees and forests around, blocking the view, the operator can very freely decide the height of the antenna. So those trees could be the camouflage for the antenna, and based on the task, the height could be readjusted. Also, the numerical array and semiconductor technologies are applied. This product is very capable of detection at low altitudes and in complex electromagnetic conditions. So this one product is specially designed for special purposes. Compared to those indoor radars, this one is also very flexible. Last year, in the air fair, we exhibited a portable YLC-12. Because it's portable, it could be placed on top of a building for detection. Interesting. Speaking of the portable ones placed on top of the buildings, are they designed to detect drones? Yes, drones. Drones are like small objects. This type of radar systems are very good at that. So this product must be able to be applied in both military and civil areas. Another question is, in the future, what's the direction of your R&D in radar technology? Radar technology is more widely applied. New technologies will join us. There will be quick iteration of the technology. For example, semiconductor technology is now mature. There will be the new generation of semiconductor technology to be applied. We will be able to launch higher power products. The finished products will try to integrate all those mature technologies. I believe the radar system will have higher detection, anti-interference, and high adaptability in the battlefield. As you said, radar is like the eye of the military sector, and also in civil sector, it could be used to help the disabled or to detect the weather conditions. And now you just introduced to us about the military applications of radar, so it is really applied on a widely basis. It could ensure our healthcare, transportation, and all other scenarios. And speaking of the automobiles, the radar system is also mounted on the vehicles. With the autonomous driving technology development, radar is going to be more frequently applied. It can send out the signal, and with that theory, it could be used in terms of the sensing technology, for example, whether in civil service or in military service. It enjoys a very bright prospect. As you know, AI is a hotspot issue right now, and it has been applied even together with radar system. What's going to be the influence of AI over radar? AI is about the big data self-learning capability. So for signal processing, data processing, it would contribute a lot. when we are detecting the objects with the radar system, and when we are operating the radar system or distributing resources, this process would be more intelligent thanks to the AI. So it's going to be very convenient for the operators, and in the future we may not need so many operators anymore. Thank you for that detailed introduction, and we are very lucky to go to the 10th World Radio Detection and Ranging Expo. This is the largest scale and most international radio expo in China. China has made great contributions in radar production in several scenarios like weather forecast, vehicles, aircraft and military sector. We learn more about the made in China radar systems, and we do hope that in the future the Chinese radar could make their presence in more international scenarios. Thank you for your time. And that's all for today's show. Thank you for visiting this expo, and please stay tuned with the radar technology's application in the future. If you need it, please pay attention to radar's application in your daily lives. Thank you for watching.